Studying abroad isn't just about a new city or a new language. It's the challenges, the discoveries, and the journey you have to go through to finally feel you belong. This podcast is a space for those stories. Welcome to With an Accent, a podcast of Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. Guys, welcome back to With an Accent, a podcast of Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. If you've been following the podcast or if it's your first listen, we are going through the journey that an international student has to go through to finally feel they belong where they are and in this beautiful city and in this beautiful country that we all are sharing at the moment. Today I am with Henry and we're going to talk about one of the toughest things for all of us, which is expectations versus reality. We all come with an idea on our minds of not only about Italy, but what our life would look like, the friends we will have, the experiences that we want to have. Maybe we thought of traveling, maybe we thought of being the best in our course of studies and found rocked to a wall or many of those things. So this is basically an opportunity for us to hear from someone else what he thought of, what he found himself at. And it's part of this journey, again, that we all go through as international. So welcome to this new episode. Hope you guys still tune in. And Henry, man, thank you for coming.
No, thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited to being here to share our experiences and how we perceive Italy in general and Milan and the uni and our life.
Easy question, not easy, but it's never easy. But when you first came to Italy, go us a bit through the transition, right? Because you come from Mexico, you have your own story, your own story there. You come from your city, everything. How did it contrast?
First of all, I'm from Acapulco. That's like southwest of Mexico. It's like beach. If you search it in Google, it's like really beautiful and you will like it a lot. But the thing is, it's really dangerous. Like if you look at on the internet, it's like one of the dangerous cities in the world. So making that change like 360 from Acapulco to Milan is really big change for me.
Okay, but going back to that specific feeling of, like, for example, losing things to gain a new one. Let's go back to Henry in Acapulco. You're like trying to figure out what the hell am I gonna do with my life? I'm a young guy. I'm a smart guy. I'm like, hey, maybe I can prove my luck outside of Mexico. What was the picture you had in your mind when you decided to do that transition in your life? And how would you describe it? Like, tell maybe a bit of the story. Did Cattolica got to your life?
For starting high school, we already know that we were gonna try at least to study abroad. Me and my parents told like you will go with your sister, so you're not alone. But the problem that I didn't have planned is that the 2 years wasn't enough to enter to a uni in Italy, in Cattolica. Like I applied to Cattolica and they told me you need 12 years and I had 11 years. So my sister already got into a uni in Milan. So like my parents were like, we already had this plan, so like you should follow that plan, like you can imagine like coming to a different country, being alone, even though I was with my sister, like
but it's not the same.
That really helped me a lot actually. Like if I always told my sister like if it wasn't for you, like I would have come back, because having like that support, it was helpful for me. But my sister was doing her life, like she was going to uni. I was alone most of the times, so that year was really tough for me. Like it builds me, like it gives me the strength, like
It built character.
Yeah, the character.
I mean, and how was experiencing that? Like, for sure, like you had expectations you were expecting a big change. How was that prior weeks? Like, how were you being like, okay, how it's gonna be classes, how it's gonna be like all this many people, how am I gonna manage?
Well, I started uni, the first day everyone was speaking Italian, and I was like, I didn't, like I have a different picture, I expect since my background in the high school, like small class,
10 people.
well, not 10 people, but like 30, 40, like we all know each other, but I realize it's totally different. Like it's just class and go home because you have to study, you know. Some days I remember like I have these deep talks with my mom. I remember talking to her about like, mom, I don't feel like I belong in here, you know, like I don't feel happy in here, like because I don't have any close connection. Like for me it's different to talk to people than to connect with people. Like
Okay. De acuerdo.
yeah,
Agreed.
yeah, like you can talk to anyone, but connecting actually to anyone, it's hard. Like just a few people you can connect with. And also I only speak mostly English in uni, so it's really hard to feel good when you don't speak your language, you know,
Yeah.
because you cannot express yourself as you will do when you speak your language.
If you have that expectations, how do you handle them? Because let's say maybe that's the way things work in Italy, probably like big lectures, so on. But you've managed to make friends, you've managed to open yourself. Like uni has, regardless of the, because I think that sort of thing is normal, like having a shock, having an expectation versus a reality, realizing that things probably don't work in the way that you're expecting. That happened to me too. ¿Cómo le diste la vuelta? How did you flick the switch? Because how did you, what time were you like, okay, it's a lot of people, okay, there's probably not that much internationals, okay,
What can I do now?
yeah, what can I do now?
You adapt to it, you know, like you get used to it. So I remember the first weeks I called my mom like, mom, I cannot make any friends. You know, like I'm alone in class, like I just go there.
Know the feeling.
Yeah, like,
The feeling, no.
because you know I had that background about 1 year alone, so I didn't want to be another year still alone.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
felt a weight
Yeah,
on their
yeah.
shoulders.
So I thought like, okay, I'm gonna start uni, I'm gonna make friends. It's going to be easy because like always in Mexico, when I changed schools, it was really fast, like to make friends, to talk to people. I said like, okay, I have to make the first move. That changed. In Mexico or in Latin America, I feel like there's a people from abroad, and like you're curious about them, you know, like
It already becomes your
yeah, like
it's crazy.
where you from? I don't know, from Italy. Oh, come, we're going to have a drink, coffee, you know, like what do you think about the city?
I
Yeah,
understand the feeling.
and here it's totally different.
It takes time to break.
But you get to get like know people, you know, like even if you don't expect it, like someday you just see it, or you make a project with them, and you find that there are people that are in the same situation, and you start to talk to them, connect to them. So I feel like you just have to give it a bit of time, you know, like you don't have to make conclusions on the first days, first weeks, first months even.
I want to go back a bit to that you're saying, because I think it's something that might be super helpful for a lot of people, especially like you were mentioning, people from Latin America. We are used to a different way of treating people when it comes to strangers that are new where we're from. Let's say they're a new person, you immediately are like, hey, come with me, come have a drink, let's go. And it's, our friendships are they're like a pass-through. Well, it goes and it happens. But something that I've come to realize here, I always did a metaphor that the Italian friend was like, hey, sort of makes sense. We are water, Latin Americans, so we float, kinda. And Italians are like ice. They are also water, but they need to melt, especially northern Italians. Like they need to open up to you, let you into their life, and it's a slow burn. So at first you're like, is he being rude? And then you realize, no, he's not being rude. He's just like that. And I realized that they're also passing through something similar than us. I hate talking in English. I deeply hate it. Yes, they're doing an English course, but they are not comfortable speaking in English. It's like me. If I could talk to you right now, cambiar español,
Yeah.
easy peasy. Well, it would go smoothly. So something I realized, and I want to go back to what you're saying, and sorry that I extend too much the conversation,
Or
is that you have to understand where people come from and like why they're treating you in that way. You have to understand their culture, you have to understand your setting. How did you change your mind? Because you were telling it in a very straightforward way, like this is, let's say, come on, this is the reality.
yeah.
This is the recipe of.
Mhm.
How do you break from the recipe?
I feel like when you are exposed to a cultural change, like you know other cultures, you kind of understand and your perspective totally changed. But how did I like break from I don't have any friends to like actually enjoying being here, like making connections and everything? I think you have to change your perspective in order to start making relationships, connecting with people, and enjoying your time in here.
You were saying something that I think is super interesting, and I would like to go back in, which is like the turning moment or the turning point or that moment when you're like, okay, this place is nice. This is, I can build something from there. Like you break the expectations, you break the tough times, and you're like, finally, Milano, everything.
Yeah.
When was that? Do you know if you know?
No, yeah, I know for sure what's that turning point, and actually it was this summer I decided to do an internship in Stockholm in Sweden. I was there for 2 months, and that's my turning point because I really get to know the Italian culture because there are a lot of
You got to know the Italian culture while being
yeah in Sweden, yeah, it's racist. But the thing we were talking about is in the same situation, what it gives to you. Like since we like the group of Italians,
You were there with some Italians.
yeah, with some Italian, we were there with 5 Italians from also from Cattolica that were in the same program doing the internships. The group that we created there, it changed my perspective like 360. Like it's not the culture, it's just finding the right people, you know. They teach me a lot of things that I didn't knew. Like the Italians, please, if you're watching, don't hate me. I know it's like really basic, really like stupid, but I didn't knew that you have to cook the tomato sauce before putting it into the pasta. And like my roommate, that like I know like it, like you don't need to be Italian in order to know that, but my 3 years that I've been here, I didn't know that. Like I always cook the pasta and put the tomato sauce without like cooking it. So my roommate like saw me like cooking the pasta, and he was like, you don't cook, you didn't cook the tomato sauce. I was like, are we supposed to cook? Oh, you have 2 years here, like how are you not, how didn't you knew that? And like they teach me a lot of things about the culture. Now I understand the Italian culture. I feel like I enjoy it. Like I thought that I couldn't laugh and enjoy uh, without being in my culture, you know. But I totally like uh, got to know like I could enjoy, I could be happy with another culture, you know. So that's my like my turning point. So I have 2 months now since I came back, and I really feel like really happy here. Like I feel right here. Like I feel I belong here, and I have a lot of like hunger to meet new people. Like
There's two awesome things that you said, and then I want to go back to, and I believe it also helps to people in general. It's not the culture, it's the right people. That was amazing because I totally believe it's true. But also, and I also think that's really interesting and really cool, and could also talk to the Italians that are maybe listening to our podcast, that it's the fact that it's amazing to experience its new cultures, because it opens your world entirely. And you got the opportunity, funnily enough, to open your world to Italy while not being in Italy, but also to realize that the deep connections that you were looking for and that you had experienced in Mexico were not only belonging to Mexico, but are possible everywhere. Because at the end, we're all people.
Yeah.
Gente es gente.
Yeah.
People are people. Regardless of where you come from, you can make deep connections if you just stop 1 second and put yourself in the shoes of the other and realize, like, that everything that you do has a reason why. Like, and that, I believe, is super powerful about what you were saying, and I deeply value that you shared that and you guys got to hear it, because it's something that I guess it's hard for all of us.
Yeah.
It's hard for all of us, because all humans search for connection in many ways, and getting to experience the connection and that changes you. I believe that this sort of things can help us create community, and I hope, like, through this podcast, you guys at home can feel that, because this is something that we don't go through alone. Like, you don't go through that alone. I've experienced it. People before us have experienced it. People after us would experience it, because it's always hard to find out those splash and to understand you belong. Like you said, it could take 2 years. Like, in my case, it took like 6 months, a bit. There's people that maybe still haven't found their place, but guys, it happens. Eventually it happens, and you will manage to do so. And we just one final thing, but this is, you were saying before that expressing yourself in English is hard. It is for all of us. So this final question is cool because it relates both to the feeling that you have that you are not able to express yourself in English, but it also is a reflection towards your story. Your story is a hard one. It's one of change, man. You've experienced a lot. So what would you tell to yourself in Spanish, Henley, when you first came?
Es difícil la pregunta. Pero creo que lo que te da vivir fuera de tu gente, de tu país, de todo lo que conoces, es algo importante y que no lo conseguirías estando, o sea, quedándote en lo que conoces, ¿no? En tu zona de confort. Es difícil, o sea, como lo dije, el cambio es muy difícil. Muchas veces puedes ver días que dices, quiero regresarme, o sea, no me gusta esto, no estoy cómodo. Pero como tú lo dijiste, o sea, todo va a estar bien, o sea, en un punto vas a sentirte que perteneces. Lo que me ha dado esta experiencia no me la daría no la conseguiría de ninguna otra forma, ¿sí me entiendes?
Gracias, estuvo brutal, gracias.
Hello everyone, I'm Henry. I'm from Mexico, from Acapulco. I'm a third-year student in the Economics and Management Bachelor of Università Cattolica.
Yeah? Sí. As Henry was mentioning in Spanish, sometimes all it takes is a bit of patience. And at the end, with time, all things align and you'll finally feel you belong, and the experience was worth the while. You've been listening to With an Accent, a podcast of Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. A special thank you to Instituto Toniolo for letting us use their beautiful space for our interviews. We hope to see you next time. Ciao, ciao.